Alrighty, boys, welcome back to the video. So it's gonna be a quick little kind of like dev comment video. We've done a lot of these in the past. Obviously, they've kind of slowed down because since the full release of Bannerlord, the devs have kind of I'm not gonna say they've posted less, but obviously they've kind of slowed down a little bit, which makes sense. It's the full release. They release updates a little bit more less frequently. It's to be expected. It is what it is. I'm not complaining about it. But I have two posts that I think you guys might need or might like. This one is kind of like I would say kind of like a tutorial or kind of like in a way, not tutorial, but he's explaining kind of the sally out mechanic, and then also, or the sally out ambush mechanic. And then lastly, we have some news as well. So yeah, stay tuned. But yeah, let's do it. So first, we have a question from a person saying, maybe you could help with this. And he's referring to the ambush mechanic, the sally out ambush mechanic. What is that if you have not used it yet? So it's a mechanic that was added pretty much which lets you attack the enemy siegers. Like if you're a defender in the castle or town that you're in, this allows you to attack the enemy that is currently besieging your castle or your town that you're in, and pretty much you are able to destroy their siege machine that they have. I'm pretty sure it's only one siege machine that you can destroy. I've done it a couple of times, and I always just had like one target, but maybe other people have different experiences. But I've only seen like that you can only destroy one target. So it's pretty much you and a couple of like I would say more than a handful of troops, a pretty good sizable amount. Not all the troops, but a good sizable amount. You guys pretty much go out there, you attack the enemy. The enemy isn't in full force also, but yeah, it's a pretty cool little. I would call it like a mini game, right? And once you destroy the siege engines and any casualties that you inflict, those reflect pretty much whenever you go once you get out of the mini game, they reflect the numbers on the top. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you look at the sieging screen, right? You have like your numbers, the enemy's numbers, and all that stuff, right? So it's a cool way to kind of catch them off by surprise, destroy some of their siege machines before they actually besiege you. I like it, right? Alrighty, so he's pretty much going to explain how it works and kind of when you can actually do it, because I'm guessing some players are having trouble. You know what I mean? Because they're not able to actually do the ambush mechanic because certain things have to be right for it to actually appear on your screen, as in, you know what I mean? Boom, you can do it, right? It's kind of grayed out sometimes, or it gives you an excuse on why you can't do it, which he explains right over here, right? So let's get to it. So the dev says the sally out ambush option checks the following, okay? So the player is inside the besieged settlement. So pretty much what he's saying right here, checks the following, pretty much means all of these have to be true for the ambush mechanic to be able to be done, right? For you to be able to actually go into the ambush minigame and, you know what I mean, destroy the siege. Usually it's just the siege, what do you call it, the battering ram. But maybe you could do other ones as well. But all right. So first, the player is inside the besieged settlement. Obviously, you have to be a defender for this to work. The siege camp preparations are done. That pretty much means the preparations is whenever you go and besiege a settlement, you have like this, pretty much like this little timer, not timer, but kind of like this bar that fills up. That's the preparation stage. That has to be done. So they have to get past that for you to be able to ambush. You can't do it before the preparations are done, which I think maybe they can make like a secondary ambush that you can do before the preparations are done. And if you can actually make it before the preparation window finishes, it does more damage. That would be kind of cool. But for the moment, that has to be done. Then a 24-hour cooldown starts. During cooldown, tooltip on the harass the siege option. I can't read, sorry. Harass the siege camp option. The enemy is alert. You cannot harass their siege camp right now. So pretty much what he's saying is once the preparations are done, you have to wait 24 in-game hours. And if you try to hit the ambush button, it's going to give you this message that the enemy is alert. You cannot harass their siege camp right now because they're still, you know what I mean, they just got off preparations. They're alerts. Okay, makes sense. After the cooldown, the player can click on harass the siege camp anytime as long as... Okay, so pretty much if all these three are settled, you're in the besieged camp, the preparations are done, and 24 hours has passed in-game. Now, the player can't click this if the player character is not wounded due to starvation. So if you're starving, sucks, you can't do it. It's going to tell you cannot harass the enemy siege camp right now due to your wounds. Okay, so you have to be in good health. Then the besieger have at least one ready siege engine. Okay, so pretty much if they have no siege engines available, then you can't really do the, the ambush mechanic, because the whole point of the ambush mechanic is for you to destroy their siege engines. So if they don't even have one, then it kind of makes sense, right? And it's going to say the enemy does not have any vulnerabilities, so that's what that means. They have no siege engines. Then also the settlement is not breached. If breached, tooltip, you cannot harass the siege camp because the settlement walls are breached. So I'm pretty sure this means, because whenever you besiege a settlement, you know what I mean? Once all the enemy siege is down, your siege engines will start attacking the walls. So if you are on the defender side and your walls are breached, unfortunately, you can't go out and harass them, because in that mini game, there's like this before you run in, you see the you see the gate opening, and that's kind of what you run out of. And then as you're running away, the gate closes back, kind of give you this cinematic okay, we took them out, the rest of the guys are coming, so we have to close the gate. But obviously, if your walls are breached, it makes sense. You probably shouldn't do it, because you can't really run away to safety because you're not safe. And then lastly, the besiegers are not attacked by another party. The enemies are already, and if they are attacked, the message will be that enemies are already engaged in battle. So if the besiegers are attacked by different opponents, let's say, somebody else in your clan or in your kingdom decides to attack them while they are trying to besiege you, you cannot actually ambush them. Which I think, I'll be honest with you, doesn't make sense. I think the last part is kind of that's the best time that you should be able to ambush, is when they are being attacked by another party. That's what I think. But maybe if they're attacked by another party, it kind of makes sense, because maybe they put the siege engines back. If you're thinking about it, from the enemy perspective, if they're getting attacked, they're not going to make their vulnerabilities show in the front. They're going to take the siege engines back and put it into the reserve, like how you can do it whenever you are this besieger. So that kind of makes sense, I guess, maybe in a way. And then after attacking, the 24-hour cooldown restarts. Okay, so if you do attack, you can wait another 24 hours, and if they don't attack you, if they don't start their siege yet on you, you can actually ambush them again, which is pretty cool. But what I've seen is they do kind of get kind of mad once you do ambush, and they're kind of very gung-ho and try to attack you. But that might have just been my experience with it. But there you go. That's how pretty much the sally out ambush kind of gets triggered, and how you, and pretty much based on what all of these say, you know exactly what's happening. And then lastly, what I wanted to go over, we have people not stating, but kind of asking about claimant quests. Obviously, if you want to take over something, I guess historically there are claimants. I forgot what it's called. It's what's the proper word for it before someone comes in here and is like, I can't believe you don't know the proper. Listen, dog, I didn't live during the medieval ages, all right? I'm here right now. What's the proper term? It's medieval. Hold on. Medieval. We're out here Googling mid-video. Medieval claim making. Okay, whatever it's called. Pretty much it's a reason to invade or a reason to take over something because you have a claim to it. For example, if you are the son of a royal, but you got kicked out, but now you're back, and technically you're part of the royal blood, so you have claim to that land. Therefore, you have a reason to invade. It's like a way to tell everybody else that you're not attacking. Pretty much telling them hey, this is the reason I am attacking. Don't get mad at me. I'm just taking back what's mine, in a way, right? So as a dev state, this will be in a future patch, but not the next one. Okay, so that pretty much means, in my opinion, I think that means that they are working on it. It is being worked on. It's not something they have forgot. It's not something that's been thrown away and you know what I mean, kind of out of development. It's there. It's just not ready yet, so it's not going to be in the next one. But it's coming, which is cool. I think it's a good addition, obviously, to any medieval game. But yeah, that'll do it for me. Again, 2 little posts. Thought they were interesting. Thought I would share, and I will see you guys in the next one.